3, 2, 1, let's jam. Hi, welcome to the Zedos Gang podcast with Joseph Buchanan and myself, Sasha Alari. Today we have the following topics: our X-Men Apocalypse trailer thoughts, Ben-Hur, our trailer thoughts, The Shallows, Indiana Jones 5, David Cope returning as screenwriter, and the screening room idea. Joe, what's that screening room idea about? Rough, jift and jab.
We'll get to it. It's a delivery service for film.
Okay. Following on that, we'll be talking about Batman vs Superman, box office expectations, how will it be received, as well as opening films this week, My Big Wet Fat Greek Wedding 2, which we've all been looking forward to, Batman vs Superman, and
Apocalypse.
That's the one. Anyway, we're back. It's been a week. How you been, Joe?
Not bad. It's been an emotional week. Well, yeah. Isn't every week an emotional week?
Well, I've just been watching Daredevil most of the week. It's bloody good. Okay, I thought I'd slip in that for the Marvel guys listening. But anyway, what's the first topic?
Am I doing the topics now? Is it going? Okay, wait. Let's. Okay, the first topic would be. What
X-Men.
trailer was it? X-Men Apocalypse.
There we go.
Okay, X-Men Apocalypse. What did I think of the trailer? It looks a lot better than the previous trailers. All I can say though is that the music choice for it is a bit droll. I can't say that I liked the music choice, but the trailer was better. You saw Apocalypse do something as opposed to standing around and talking. Which is Apocalypse's trait in the animated cartoon, but in the film or in the trailer, I'll expect to see more than speeches. But the trailer was good. It showed the four horsemen of Apocalypse. It showed who was it? Storm, Psylocke, Archangel, and Magneto. There was still so much in it. It showed a lot without showing anything. Whoops. It showed a lot without showing anything, and that to me is the hallmark of a good trailer, when it shows you just enough to get you rattled up.
I thought it was okay. It didn't blow me. It didn't blow me away. The only thing I kind of was impressed with was his voice. He says like a line or something. Apocalypse says something, and then you hear his voice kind of transform into like what I would have expected him to sound like. So if anyone that was worried about Oscar Isaac and how he sounded and stuff, you will get like that actual Apocalypse kind of sounding voice in there. I thought that was a nice touch in the trailer. It looks like when he gets big, when he transforms in mass, his voice might change, into the kind of thing that we all expect. Other than that, I just thought it was a run-of-the-mill kind of trailer. I like the other trailers kind of thing. They kind of had a bit more mystique to it and gave you a little glimpse of that. But there was no money shot, I didn't think. I remember like all the other X-Men trailers or the other films, they'd at least have a money shot where you're like, whoa, I know what this is, but I want to see that part of the movie. And like they've shown like we've seen in all the trailers when he grows big in mass, and for me that was the money shot in the other trailers. And the cat's out of the bag now, and they're showing the same thing. I just felt it was like one of those ones which show you everything that you've seen before, and they didn't really add anything to make me go, maybe it was a music score, I don't know, but it just didn't grab me as much as the other two trailers. But hey, I'm there opening weekend definitely for X-Men Apocalypse. That's one of my most anticipated films. But yeah, that's.
Do you think the fact that they're all wearing black again is a hallmark back to the original X-Men?
I think timeline wise they're going back towards the late 90s, early 2000s. That doesn't really bother me there, really. It may bother some X-Men fans who thought, you know, the throwbacks in the last two films with the original uniforms would have been like better or whatever, but you know, it's a movie adaptation. It does. I know. Some people might go, yeah, but Marvel are doing it this way. But we've always known, entering X-Men, that it has its own kind of look and style and how those films are. So that stuff doesn't really bother me. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, going on to the next topic. It's Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur. The Ben-Hur trailer was released, but I'm not sure what company is doing Ben-Hur. But let me just find that out. I don't know who's releasing Ben-Hur.
Paramount, I think. It's Paramount.
Paramount. No, it's not Paramount. It's MGM.
Oh, MGM. Okay.
Well,
Sure.
who owns MGM these days? Is it Sony?
I think everyone's got a piece of the pie
Okay.
with those guys. So depends on what the IP. You know, depends on what the IP is really. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I know with Bond it was Sony.
Yeah.
And I know with the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit films, because they own the screen rights to the Hobbit. Obviously, Warner Brothers stepped in and helped them make that, and Sony had nothing to do with that. So it depends on what IP it is at any one time. So yeah.
So MGM released this trailer for Ben-Hur, which I'm not really sure you can beat the original. And by looking at the trailer, it has all the bells and whistles of a man that was rich and then becomes a slave and then isn't a slave. it's going for that gladiator-esque tone, in a sense that it's following the same beats really.
I didn't care much for it.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of dull. You had Morgan Freeman phoning it in. He's just old wise guy. The guy they got for Ben-Hur, what's the actor's name? Well, I don't know. I've not really seen him in anything myself. I should really brush up on that. But I don't know. It was just nothing about the movie that really made me want to go see it, even though that it is essentially a remake.
Jack Houston.
But, you know, I don't know. Who's directing it?
That I don't know. Hold on. Let me find out.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, why remake Ben-Hur? I mean, I guess it's an IP. Young kids ain't watching the original these days and don't even know who Charlton Heston is anymore. But, like, you know, I guess maybe they're just retelling the, you know, a classic story to a new generation. And, like, you know, I don't think... I don't know. I just didn't feel the trailer. I just didn't feel the source material. I guess we'll see when it comes out, I guess. But I didn't know anyone, like, really anticipating the Ben-Hur movie.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. It's coming out at the arse end of the summer.
Yeah,
and,
so...
that doesn't bode well for a film of that stature. So, directed by... Well, I'm not even going to try and butcher this guy's name.
So it's the guy that did Night Watch and Day Watch. He did that animated film called Nine with Elijah Wood. He's a Russian director.
Hence why I'm not going to.
I can't pronounce his name either. Timur Bekmambetov.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't even try. Because it's just going to sound stupid. But yeah, that guy's directing it.
Yeah, I mean, he did Wanted, and if you've seen Black Lightning, that's a really good movie. You know, he's a capable director, but I don't know, he's a capable director, but I don't know, even him doesn't excite me to go watch, you know, Ben-Hur.
But that's the thing, if you're gonna remake Ben-Hur, why don't you choose a director that has some clout? What I know Ridley Scott is the go-to guy for Sword and Sandals films, but why not him?
Yeah.
I can't say that he's made a good one in recent years, but I guess I can't see anything in this trailer that makes me want to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, like, his last film was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter,
Oh dear.
which probably wasn't the best thing he's done, but I was a good fan of, like, of Night Watch and Day Watch. They were excellent movies. I have a soft spot for Wanted 9, the animated movie. Well, he didn't direct it, he produced it, but that's a really good movie. You guys should check it out. Yeah, I don't know. You know what it is? It's just the IP of Ben-Hur. We've had loads of these epic movies, in the course of the past 10 years and stuff. 300 was the last one that I really, or maybe even Immortals was the last one that I really
Immortals,
liked.
come on, man.
I don't know, man. I had a soft spot for it. I don't know what it was. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I was like, fair enough. I knew there was a load of bad reviews.
You're going to put the Immortals over 300?
No, I just said I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed 300.
Wow, that's a big crack in the ice, man.
Well, I gotta have a bad movie at least somewhere in me. We all have them, so sound off on the comments below on what your bad movies are that you like anyway, even though you know are rubbish. That'd be an interesting topic for another time. But anyway, I don't know, man.
Yes, that's so funny. Speaking of which, this is out of context, but if you want to write in and comment, or if you want us to talk about anything in particular, the place you go to do that is, as Satch said, in the comment section, wherever you find this podcast, or you can write directly to the podcast at Zedos Gang the Zedos Gang podcast, and just air off whatever you want us to talk about. Next on the agenda,
The Shallows. The Shallows. Yeah. I quite like it. It's got Blake Lively in there. It's a film about a girl that gets stranded in shallow water. Is she a surfer? I think she's a surfer. It just, looks like she's endangered by sharks. Sounds like a good premise for a Jaws reboot, low budget kind of style, if it was done by Paramount, or was it Universal? I think it was Universal.
Sorry.
But like, no, as in Jaws.
Jaws, right.
But like, no, it looks okay. It looks quite, it looks a little bit like low budget, like an indie movie and stuff. Maybe we'll see. I like the premise. She looks like she's in a bit of a hot spot there. Just have to see how it goes. It looked okay to me. What did you think?
I liked it. It's got a nice sense of what the hell will happen next.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not a situation you really want to be in ever.
Yeah, it builds the tension throughout the trailer, and you just if you reverse the situation, put yourself in where she is, you'll think to yourself, what the hell would I do? You would either just I wouldn't. That's the thing. You wouldn't know what to do. You can see land, but you've got this big shark swimming around you. No, it clearly knows that.
Yeah.
She has to go in sometime, and
she needs to eat. He needs to eat. Who wants to eat?
It's fun for all the family. It looks good to me. I'm intrigued by it. Whenever you see a shark film in particular, it's always compared to Jaws.
Yeah, everything's compared to Jaws.
And so, I don't know if whoever's listening to this, depending on how old you are, if you've not seen Jaws, I know Jaws is a pretty old film, but it's one of the best films of its genre. I don't know if Jaws is a genre. But,
it's horror. It's a horror movie.
I guess. In that case, you'd have to call Aliens a horror film.
It is a horror film.
Technically, it is.
The first one is.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. That's one that I would really love to see on the big screen. So
moving along, we have Indiana Jones 5. David Cope is back writing the movie. Any thoughts on David Cope? Nothing? You got nothing? I got nothing. I think he'll do a good job. I noticed there's been a lot of backlash about him directing it because he did the previous one. He had a hand in the previous one, Crystal Skull, but by what if you look into the making of Crystal Skull, it wasn't really that much of a hand. I mean, like, they took like 4 drafts of 4 different scripts, one by the Shawshank Redemption guy, one by, you know, the Rush Hour guy. You know what I mean? George Lucas wrote some, and, you know, they put it in a pot. They got David Cope to make it all, like, you know what I mean? I mean, like, look at his resume. You got Jurassic Park, you got Carlito's Way, you got original Mission Impossible. Fair enough, he wrote the first 3/3 of The Lost World. I mean, that's a good resume, man. I mean, you know, it's a fresh take. There's no Lucas. They've got enough time to write the movie. I figured give the guy a chance, you know? See how it goes.
For what? He hasn't done anything wrong.
Well, that's just it. I'm just saying, I don't know whether you've seen the backlash on all the websites and stuff. Every website they're saying Crystal Skull writer back on indie, everyone's losing their minds.
Well, they need to get their facts right then, don't they?
I think so. It's just, you know, it's really a non-issue.
Well,
yeah.
in terms of Indiana Jones, I've got other problems with the other than the film coming out than just the writer. I have a film with Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
I'm over the fact. I'm over Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones. I think something new needs to happen. I don't mind him being in it, but him being Indiana Jones through the duration of the film needs that. I don't need to see that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Oh no, I think Harrison will be alright. I mean, like, yeah, he's old, etc. But I mean, you know, I think it's a case of Lucas's original idea for the character was like, you're seeing this guy go through different adventures over the course of the early 20th century. That was the case with the young Indiana Jones. If you watch the Chronicles and stuff, fair enough, they did 3 cool movies. It was, since Disney got it, it was always going to go along the James Bond kind of route.
Well, that's the thing. I mean? Disney don't have it.
Do they not?
No, because the rights belong to Paramount.
Do they?
Yeah. So I don't know what deal they've done with Paramount.
Oh, okay.
But that's a tangle that I'm not. If anyone else knows what's going on with that, let us know. But as far as I'm concerned, from what I've heard, it's still entangled with Paramount. So that's going to be the interesting thing to work out.
Well, I think it makes sense when they open a movie that we have like the little mountain at the start and it dissolves into, like, you know, something mountain-like. It'd be weird to see the Disney castle dissolve into, like...
Why would there be a Disney castle in it?
Well, I thought well, like I said, I thought Disney had the rights, but, you know, obviously Paramount's still got it, but either way. Oh no, I don't have a problem with Harrison Ford coming back. I really don't. I felt he did a good job in The Force Awakens. It's clearly a character that he really likes himself, and he's quite passionate about playing. I mean, like, I don't think any of the Crystal Skull was the fault of Harrison Ford himself. You know what I mean? He still shows that he can handle the action. I mean, guys survived the Millennium Falcon door on him and a bloody plane crash in 1 year and still running about like a madman. You know what I mean? At his age, most people would be dead. He really is Indiana Jones. I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, I don't know. I hear a lot of skepticism, but I'd like to see him take one crack at the whip just to see, just to get one great movie out there. I mean, fair enough. The last movie wasn't as great as the original 3, and there's no Lucas this time round, and Spielberg's probably wanting to, do right by this one as well. And be quite honest, Ford, yeah, he's old, but they could easily make it a prequel to Crystal Skull. I don't think he looks that old compared to Crystal Skull. He could still crack the whip again. They managed to do it last time. They could do it this time. Just give us a decent story. That's all I say. In terms of rebooting the character, I mean, if they did, yeah, there's plenty of guys that could reboot the role for the next one or whatnot. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, it all depends on story, where they take it, what they do with the what they do with the movie, because at the moment we just know Harrison Ford's coming back, David Copper's writing. We don't know anything other than that. We don't know what take the filmmakers are going to go with it. We don't know what exactly they're doing, and with no information we can't really judge because we don't see the clearer picture. They have 3 years to make this movie, which is more than enough time to make it a great movie. If it was coming in a year and a half, then I'd be worried. You know what I mean? At the moment, there's nothing to worry about. They take the time. I think the only thing that could stop this movie is if Harrison Ford gets injured again and can't walk or something, and then it's definitely over. But I'm being the optimist here. That's just me.
Who's you cast as a new Indiana Jones?
There's loads of people. I mean, I think Bradley Cooper would make a good Indiana
Why Bradley
Jones.
Cooper?
He's just kind of got that charisma.
No.
No. Okay. I there's loads of other people I think that could, but I just think he could. Or someone like a young...
I'm not saying Bradley Cooper doesn't have charisma. I just don't think he's got Indiana Jones charisma.
Oh, okay. What's Indiana Jones charisma?
Not Bradley Cooper's.
Fair enough. Who would you cast?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. Probably someone unknown. Probably someone unknown. I'll do a whole scouting session of who is able, has a similar presence to Ford, but isn't Ford.
You wouldn't do one of those things where you go against the grain to try something different?
No.
You wouldn't do a Roger Moore to the Sean Connery?
Oh, hell no. not a chance. I think if you're going to do something like that, then you can't. You've got to. It will totally change because you've got to keep some of the essence of what the character is. If you're going to keep it in that timeline, that 20. Is it 20 years? So it's from the 1930s to the 1950s.
1950s, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So if you're going around that time period, then yeah, I don't know. All I know is that Harrison Ford, to me, he hasn't. When I watched The Force Awakens, it seemed to me like he wasn't struggling, but was just about able to pull Han Solo off again. And that, to me, that just, okay, well, it's been a nice run, Harrison.
Well, it could be a case of he was phoning it in and he doesn't have the same affiliation to Han Solo than he does Indiana Jones, though.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
But even with that, by the time this film goes to camera, he's going to be nearly 80.
74.
No, he's going to be older than that.
Yeah.
And so, if you're going to do that, I really think you need to. I don't know. I'm as a fan, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
The other side of me is, what can you? What I'm not sure about this film at all. But I will go and watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, next topic. The screening room. This is an idea by the creator of Napstar, and what the screening room is that day of release of a film, you'll have a set-top box in your house that will go under your TV amongst the other amounts of set-top boxes that you have, and you'll pay $50 for a film on release. So you can invite a bunch of people around, and you'll have the film for I think 24 hours or 48 hours. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this is a service that Spielberg and Peter Jackson has given their thumbs up to, and I'm not sure if it's a particularly great idea, because once you do that, theatre chains will start to complain, and then it's a budgetary thing. The return will be, let's say everyone had this box, the return on a film will be a lot lower than it would be in a theatre, and so your budgets would start to get lower. The quality would start to get it would start to be questionable on how you could actually budget for a film, because there's no way to know if you're going to get a certain return, because it's just it's not a tested.
Because you're no longer paying for a seat,
Exactly.
ticket price for a seat. You're paying for a viewing.
Exactly.
Or a number of viewing if you've got the film for 24 hours. So I could see why that'd be a problem if you make a movie for $200 million and, you know, like the next Avengers movie, the Infinity War, for 200 million, and then like, yeah, that you'd probably get like a quarter of the admissions than you would have if it just been a normal theatrical release. So I could see why filmmakers and, you know, movie producers would worry about such a device to a degree. But then the counter argument is people that generally want to watch things in cinema do generally go, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's been proven many times over. I mean, like a lot of people can argue that, oh no, but blah blah, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, I could just download a film anytime, and that's right. But you've already got those people that already do that, yeah, for free. You know what I mean?
Well, again, piracy and people downloading things for free because they feel they have a privilege to do so has always been a problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something that's ever going to go away, to be honest. But with this is the guy that created Napster, so it's a disruptive service. It's made to disrupt the film industry, but again, with that, that's a dangerous thing. You could go to a dark age of film where, oh, okay, well, that cinema chain's gone, that theatre's gone. The only way to watch your films now would be paying a premium, and $50 is a premium. That's a lot of money.
That is.
And the box itself is $150, which I don't know what equates to in pounds on the exchange rate at the moment, but that's something that bothers me a little bit, because I like my cinema experiences, and I'm not sure how I would feel if, the only way you can experience this now is if you download it on this service, and okay, that's great, that is great, but okay, and the pros to that, it's anyone that can't make it to a theatre can just, here's the box, I can just download it and watch it, and that's great. That would be a great service for like a mother of 6 or someone that can't get to the theatre, or someone who's disabled, or it's an interesting tool, but there are other services like that as well already, and you don't have to pay $50 for it, but I guess it's not the Avengers or Star Wars or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's I guess they're more independent films that are day-on-day release on VOD. So I don't know with that.
That could really kill the small films.
Possibly. It's an unknown product, so you don't know what it's going to do to the industry unless you put it out there, and I can't. I think it's James Cameron that doesn't agree with the service, and Ridley Scott. I could be wrong about that, but there's a lot of there's an equal for and against this service, and so I guess only time will tell what will happen with it. And so yeah, I can honestly say that I like my cinema experiences. I like to go to watch a film, and the film comes out on VOD or streaming service or Blu-ray in 3 or 4 months, so why not just wait? Stay with me. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, and as I said, only time will tell. on to the main topic, Batman vs Superman. How well will it do? We don't know. It comes out next week.
Yep.
Its box office expectations seem to be very interesting. It's tracking for I think over 140 million in the US anyway. So that'll be interesting to see how this marketing campaign has worked on people. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this movie's gonna bomb, man. I'm just joking. No, it's gonna do really well. I think everyone's been talking about it to some capacity or the other. I mean, we all want to see Superman beat Batman or Batman beat Superman to some point. It's, you know what I mean? Like, how's it gonna fail? It's not. You know what I mean? Even though I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? This week, I'm probably gonna catch like midnight show on Wednesday, easily. But do you know what I mean? I don't see it doing badly. Will it make more money than Man of Steel? Of course it will. It's got Batman in there. It's got Batman in there, and yeah, okay. There's some Batfleck haters. I'm pro Batfleck, but like, I mean,
Ben Affleck, that is.
But like, you know, it's Batman versus Superman, and it's a new version of Batman, so everyone's just going to be interested to see how that turns out, regardless. Are you watching it?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, but we're film fans.
Yeah.
And there's a stark difference between the average film goer and us. To me, the feeling that I've been getting from it is very mixed. In terms of its I think that's due to its marketing campaign, and my biggest question is with Deadpool, that attracted women as well as men, and so that's still doing well as we speak, and so do you think this will? Because I've asked some of my female friends if they're going to go and see this, and I was like, "Oh, really, Batman vs Superman? Really, why?" And so that's a hard one to answer. If you're not a fan of the material, or if you even if you've never seen a Superman film before or a Batman film before, so, what is this? Who is this for? What? Why should I watch this? And I'm talking about from a female's perspective. I'm pretty sure most females know who Batman and Superman is, because they're the most
iconic characters ever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's to me, I still feel that in the air there's a bit of a mix. There's a mixed response to how this film is going to be received.
I think the mixed response comes from the Dark Knight trilogy being as popular as it was. You know what I mean? It's another reboot, kind of. It's a new bat on the block, and you know, like everything when they change stuff up, people are a little bit wary yet curious at the same time. I think the film's going to do well, regardless. You know, they're filming Justice League now. They know it's going to be a hit. You know what I mean? It's how big a hit.
They actually don't know. If it makes as much as Man of Steel, it will be a hit. But they're banking on a lot of other franchises.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
of course. But at the same time, I mean, Justice League is shooting now.
Yeah, but again,
so
what are they basing that on?
But they can't stop the train once it's already being shot. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
they can manage how much they market it to a degree, or they could cut corners. Like, you know what I mean? They've already made the train has left the station. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like their slate of films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's like with the Star Wars films. Okay, everything was banking on Episode 7, for example. You know what I mean? Like Disney was like playing safe on Episode 7, and at the same time, you know, it all depended on that. They spent $4 billion on that IP. It's made $2 billion. So you know what I mean? And in a minute,
actually, that they didn't spend $4 billion on Star Wars.
No, that's the whole of Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
My point is, you know, my point is that they've already recouped 2 billion off that with one movie. So now they're going crazy. Hence the Indiana Jones announcement at Lucasfilm and a couple of other stuff. But like, you know, they already said there'd be the spin-off films, etc. But you know, had Episode 7 have failed, that could have impacted a lot on Episode 8. Maybe not so much Rogue One, because that's the next one coming up, and they're already knee-deep into shooting that. But Episode 8 and the rest of them, you know what I mean, that could have had like a big effect on that. Whereas with Batman and Superman, you know what I mean, all hinges on this movie, really. It really does. But they've already got Justice League filming now. You know what I mean? So depending on the outcome of this, could affect, you know, which way they go with Justice League Part 2, and Wonder Woman's already been shot. It's already in the can. You know, they finished shooting on that. So Wonder Woman was already wrapped. So they would have had to look at the other two movies to see whether there was a spike in those ones before the other characters get there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If this does well, watch, they'll greenlight Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern. I mean, they're already greenlit already. They're already happening, but nothing's, you know what I mean? Most of those projects are kind of like, you know, locked with different, you know.
And what about the whole,
stages and
what
stuff.
about the confusion with, okay, so in the film world you've got these characters, but in the TV world you've got characters that are doing the rounds as well. Don't you think it's going to get convoluted?
Maybe not. It depends. I mean, DC Universe peeps are gonna like probably shout the multiverse kind of questions. I'm not too familiar with like all of that kind of stuff, but maybe, but you know, if the films are popular, people are gonna watch the films. TV show's quite popular to a certain kind of audience. Do you know what I mean? I think the films will probably catch like all the casuals and stuff, and maybe reintroduce those people to the TV shows. You know, it could work either way. It just depends which way the door swings, really.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there are many iterations of Superman. I mean,
there's loads,
yeah.
but it's still. I'm okay. So me myself, I'm not. There's parts of this where I deem unnecessary, like Doomsday spoilers. Well, they've already spoiled it for you. Was that necessary? Was it necessary to kill Zod in the first film? Was it? There's so many things that I felt were unnecessary, and that's another thing. Sorry to spin off point, but they just released the whole of the score on Spotify, and I've heard a little bit of it, and it sounds like the last film.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not a good thing either.
No, I didn't think the score was that. It was no John Williams, that's for sure, but it wasn't that bad. You know, I've gotten used to it now. It's a reboot. They're trying to establish like a new tone and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not the films we grew up on the Chris Reeve stuff. We've said before.
Yeah, with that in mind, the soundtrack sounds generic to me. The other people that really like it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying to me, I would like a little bit more variety especially in. There's more than one villain and hero in this, and I think it all sounds very similar. And I mean, the Man of Steel soundtrack to me is very forgettable. There's a lot of drums.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember. And look, it's not a blow to anyone that likes it. To me, it's you
just want your classic theme tune.
I just want a theme that I can remember.
Yeah. Like how the Avengers have a theme.
The Avengers have quite a catchy theme.
Yeah.
And I think that's been lost in a lot of these modern adaptations of superheroes or comic book heroes or whatever you would like to call them. But I like Hans Zimmer, but I do feel sometimes he takes a lot of credit for, because he collaborates with a lot of composers. So take take the Dark Knight trilogy for instance. James Newton Howard had a lot to do with that. He came up with a lot of the themes as well, but no one ever mentions James Newton Howard when it comes to the Dark Knight, to any of the Dark Knight films, and I think that's so. that's I would be angry if I was James Newton Howard, but to me, he's done two really good scores. One being Gladiator, the other being Inception. The Inception felt like it was taking you on a journey. Gladiator felt epic. But Man of Steel felt generic, and it felt very safe. Anyway, it's not easy to go from Williams' theme to something new. So I don't envy him in any way. And so anyway, getting to the point, what do you think this will do in the box office? Do you think it's gonna do Force Awakens money? Do you think it's gonna do Jurassic World money?
I don't think it's gonna do either of those two. I think it's gonna do. I don't know. I'm predicting like 800 million, maybe, roughly around that ballpark. You know what I mean? If it does more than that, then that's strictly on the fact that it is a collaboration of like Batman and Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think 800 million. That Warner's would be happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'll be that's the safe man's bet right there. I think it'll do easily more than Man of Steel. I think because everyone's going to be more curious about this incarnation of Batman, and then of course the casuals are going to be like, "Why are they fighting?" And like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's really going to be the linchpin really with this movie. It's not gonna fail. I don't see that. I think it's going to do quite well. I reckon.
I don't see it failing either. I mean, it's too big to fail.
Out of what's coming out this week, I mean, like, you know, I think the only thing that's going to give
Zootopia.
Zootopia, but Zootopia's not going to, you know, no.
Don't underestimate it, mate. Don't underestimate a Disney film.
That is true. That is true.
It's doing business in America at the moment, so I never underestimate a Disney film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it will. Yeah. I think
but then you got Big Fat Greek Wedding too, man. That could just completely demolish it.
No! Don't you can't say that, because that's the only reason that film was made is predicated to the fact that the first one
was a big smash.
Yeah,
but does it have that pull now?
It's been too.
Do people?
We'll get
the Greeks?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And okay. And speaking of which, we can go right to the next topic.
We just jump right in?
Yeah,
okay.
which is.
Do people even remember their last Greek?
Hold on. So this topic is films opening this week, and the three films that we're looking at is my Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and Zootropolis. And I cannot pronounce this all the time. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. If you don't remember this film, it was a film that came out in the early 2000s and was a sleeper hit. It did business on the big screen and on the home video, and so 15 years later, they decided
There's another Greek wedding.
Yeah, there's another Greek wedding.
TV show?
There was a TV show.
Well, I remember a TV show.
And it bombed. It was terrible. It was terrible.
24 Greek weddings in one season? Yeah, that'd be enough for me.
I actually don't think they were about a Greek wedding, but
okay.
It's a franchise thing.
Oh.
So that's coming out. That's actually that's coming out this week. So that's coming out against Batman vs Superman. It's something different for people to watch if they don't want to watch Batman vs Superman or Zootropolis. So I think the runoff from Batman vs Superman may actually help this film, and so we never know. And I know you're not going to watch this film. So
you never know. You never know, I might end up watching it. It depends. Which ladies are going to take me out to go watch Greek Wedding? I'll go watch it.
Okay, so next we have Batman vs Superman: Dawn of
I
Justice.
think I'll go watch it by myself just to spite you, Joe.
What's that?
Greek Wedding.
Why would it spite me?
Just to prove a point, I would go see it.
Why would that? I have not made any criticism about
You
wanting
didn't
to
think
watch
that I would go watch it. You just said it.
I don't think it's really aimed at. Did you see the first one?
No, but that's...
Oh, there you go. So yeah, Batman vs Superman. I think that's self-explanatory. We're all gonna go watch that.
Yeah, I'll just be watching it at my local. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think Batman Superman's the one I'm going to watch. I'll probably catch Zootopia at some point.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Nothing. I was waiting on you, dude.
Zootropolis, by the way.
Zootropolis.
Not Zootopia.
Zootropolis.
Right, okay. Well, that was a shambles. We now go into film 20 questions. And if you don't know how this works, well, I have a film title in front of me, and Satch has 20 guesses to guess the title, and he's looking at me with
I hate this game.
this game is awesome. Yeah, and so Satch wins a box of oxygen.
Oh wow.
Satch, if you can just... I'm going to write the name of the film, Satch. Okay, Satch.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, take your first guess.
Okay, is it set... Hang on, did it come out in the 80s?
No.
The 90s?
No.
Recently?
When is recently? Be more specific.
As in the past 10 years?
Yes.
Okay, past 10 years. Okay. Is it a indie or is it a mainstream blockbuster?
I would say indie.
It's an indie. Okay. Is it a foreign film or Hollywood film or?
When you say that's a very vague question.
Is it a foreign film? Is it foreign language or is it?
It's not a foreign language film.
It's not foreign language.
Is that your question?
That is my question.
Okay,
yeah.
that's 5 questions.
Okay, that's 5 questions. I get 20. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, is it by a well-known director?
No.
Okay. Does it have a huge star in it?
He's getting there.
Okay, upcoming, yeah?
More than upcoming there.
Is it someone that should be big but hasn't quite made it?
You know, you just asked 2 questions, right?
Yeah.
Is it someone that's... Sorry, what was the question?
Is it someone that has never just quite made it but's in a lot of things?
No.
No. Is it a comedy?
No.
Okay. Is it how many questions have I got?
You've got 10 more.
I've got 10 more. It's not a comedy. Okay. Is it horror?
Gosh. Horror film, that's... No. Oh. Borderlines.
Borderlines.
On horror, but no, I wouldn't call it a horror film.
Is that a thriller then?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 8 questions. Okay, so it's a thriller. Low budget thriller. I have no clue what this is.
Here's a clue for you. 2 of the actors in it have been to the Oscars recently.
Is Bryan Cranston in it?
No.
Damn it. Jared Leto?
No. I'm gonna make it a bit easier for you. You got 6 questions left.
Okay.
He's in a Disney film. The actor is in a Disney film.
Oh, great.
A recent Disney film.
What kind of... is it an animation movie?
Okay, so... I'm trying to make it as easy as not as easy as possible, but so you can pick up on a thread.
Okay.
Okay, so if let's put it this way: if you've seen what's the film called? The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Uh-huh.
One of the actresses in this film is in it. Can't use your phone. Try not to emphasize the other actors in the Disney film. The actress that's in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is in the film that you're supposed to be guessing.
Tron?
Nope. 5 questions left.
5 questions left. And it's not an animation?
No.
It's...
I'm going to give you that one.
Okay. This is live action Disney film. Is it a Pixar film?
No.
Okay. So no Pixar.
It's an independent film.
Oh yeah, it's an independent film. Oh crap. An independent Disney film?
It's not a Disney film.
You just said it was.
No, I said the person was recently in a Disney film.
Oh, right.
Okay, I'll make this easier. This person was in Star Wars, the recent Star Wars film. One of the main actors. There are two lead actors in this, or 3 really.
Ex Machina?
Yes.
There we go.
That is it. Thank you, Satch. We'll be here next week. I'm Joseph Buchanan, and this has been the Zedos Game podcast, and we're out.
See ya.